Hi, welcome back. This is still another tutorial for Maquette. Last episode, we talked about designing 3D UI in Maquette. Now we're going to talk about designing 3D stuff, modeling, kit bashing, how to make 3D content in Maquette. Let's get started. So, in Maquette, what you think of 3D object is normally consists with four things. You have primitives, things from Maquette library, snippets, and also things from Google Poly. Let's go through them one by one. Primitives are things you can find in the first tab in the assets. You have complex primitive, simple primitives. You can get these shapes out, rescale them however you want, and these are basically the most important building blocks for you in Maquette. Use these to build your 3D UI, your base, your more simple shape. So in this case, I just grabbed a pentagon, squash it, and then you have a shape of sword. That's amazing. Then the next one is Maquette library. Maquette library is a library of simple 3D mesh that are not that easy to build with the primitives. So the people at Maquette kindly put this together so you can use them for some basic 3D things. For example, this people icon, right? You use it all the time for profile or just to symbolize where people are. Snippets are things that are built with the primitives. So if you go to the snippets, go to the Maquette library, and you can find all these folders with things Maquette already built for you. Let's go to avatar, get the avatar out. Believe it or not, this avatar is actually built with sphere, cylinder, capsules. So if you select it, ungroup it, you'll realize, right? These are actually all Maquette primitives, which is amazing. So they have a lot of them for you to use. Finally, but not the least, you have Google Poly, which is a open platform for uploading 3D content. So you can search whatever you need, and then you can grab it from Google Poly into your project. These models are more complicated. Sometimes what you can do with them is that you can change the color, but you cannot ungroup it, but you can rescale them, which can be really handy. So in our example, we are going to create something like this. A user is looking at a spaceship, which is hovering over a platform, and an alien is jumping. So let's get into it. First of all, we need to build the platform. A very common way to build the landscape in Maquette is to use the complex primitive, such as this one. You want to flatten it by scaling it down on the z-axis. Then you will have a detailed and interesting ground to play with. So you can just do what I just did. You grab one, use the trigger and the grip to duplicate it, and then boom, you have a ground. Next, you can go ahead and look for the dotted pattern overlay, or something like that. So what I did was that I copied one of those from other Maquette Spotlight and use it here, which makes it very simple. Or you can import your own asset. Now let's make the platform. So what I did was to create a cylinder, but this cylinder is interesting because one side of it is scaled down. So I'm going to make this shape a little bit not so tall. And then I'm trying to look for the beacon shape. Yes, there you go. So you stretch it on the z-axis, make it longer, and boom, you have a beacon. Next, we want to have that ring shape ring is very simple. What you want to do is you want to create a hollow cylinder and then just scale it down. There you go. By snapping it onto the surface, you'll make sure the distance between this ring and the platform is the minimum, but they're not actually overlapping with each other, which can be really handy. Then I use the color eyedropper to get the correct color. Then let's talk about the spaceship. I actually got the spaceship from the Maquette snippet folder. There you go. So people at Maquette already built this thing for us. But as always, because it is a snippet, you can just grab it, ungroup, and customize where things are, right? Because all these are built with simple primitives. For example, this little engine thing, it's actually just capsule. This is flattened capsule, and the body of the spaceship is a stretched sphere. So it's very exciting to just think about stuff and build things in Maquette with those simple shapes. You can have very good results, and it's really fast to position things in 3D. Now, let's talk about this thing. I did not import any third-party assets or like something outside Maquette. You don't have to do that too. If you want, you're welcome to do so, but Maquette comes with a pretty good hand and head and controller model for you to use to indicate your prototype. So just go to the rocket and then grab this thing from the controller folder, and boom, you have the left and right controller. Turns out we don't need the right, so we just get rid of that. Now we want the hand. We get the left hand and the right hand. Get the mount, scale it to the right scale. Then we want to find the head. So more shapes, head.fbx. There you go. We have the hand and the head and the controller. Now what we want is that little goggle the head is wearing. So yes, in the same folder, in the same assets folder, we find it. Let's scale and reposition it so it looks like he's actually wearing it. Nice. So now we have the people and the hand and the controller. Final step would be just putting them together. Always remember to click on an empty space to untoggle the select status so you don't have everything selected and move them around. Now we find the poly model, we put it in. The last part is the laser. So to create the laser, use the brush tool, go to the straight brush, toggle the unlit brush material, meaning that your brush color won't be affected by the environment lighting. So just draw that, select the line, and edit it to make it thinner so it looks like a laser. Voila! Now we have our 3D things ready.